Good morning, students of class 10. In this period of geography, the chapter Resources of Water is continued. In the live class, I have taught till the drawbacks of conventional means of irrigation. Those were so many drawbacks were there, and for that reason, few modern means of irrigations are suggested through which the water will be utilized efficiently. We can protect the loss of water through evaporation or percolation. Those modern means of irrigations are furrow irrigation, spray irrigation, drip irrigation, and sprinkler irrigation. So, in the first phase, I shall explain these three: furrow irrigation, spray irrigation, and drip irrigation. All these are the modern means of irrigation. Furrow irrigation. Poured water is directed to flow through narrow channels dug between the rows of crops. As the water is supplied to the agricultural land, then that water is distributed in different narrow channels. Those narrow channels are prepared by digging the soil among the rows of crops. In those narrow small channels, the poured water is distributed to different rows of crops, and the agricultural land is watered, is irrigated evenly. But some drawbacks are there. There is a percolation of water and evaporation of water. So we say water is not utilized efficiently in furrow irrigation. Second disadvantage, if there is any high area in the agricultural land, that area gets very less water and there is lack of moisture that affect the production, and in low area there is a problem of water logging that also reduces the production. Second is spray irrigation. In this process of irrigation, one spray gun is utilized. Spray gun that you have seen, it is utilized to spray the medicines, that is the insecticides or pesticides in the garden or in the agricultural land. This spray gun is the complex machinery, so it is costly. That spray gun is costly due to complex machinery. It reduces amount of water. It means through furrow irrigation, how much water is needed to irrigate the field, less than that water requires to irrigate the field through spray irrigation. So for that I have written here, it reduces amount of water for irrigation, and this is more efficient than furrow irrigation. While furrow irrigation, the whole field is poured with water and there is a loss of water through evaporation and percolation, but in this process right amount of water is supplied to the agricultural land for irrigation, so there is very less loss of water, so it is more efficient than furrow irrigation. But little amount of water is lost through evaporation, and in this there is a plant diseases. Plant diseases can also spread. Plant diseases can also be found through spray irrigation, and lowland area gets excess moisture, and in that area there may be problem of waterlogging that affects the production. Number 3 is drip irrigation. This is considered as the most advanced and efficient method. In this method, perforated pipes are kept between the rows of crops. Perforated pipes means in the pipe that is made up of metal or made up of plastic, holes are done. Through holes, water comes out. So that type of pipe is named as perforated pipes. These perforated pipes are kept between the rows of crops, and through those holes, water goes to the crops. And since the right amount of water is provided to the agricultural land, therefore there is very less amount of water is wasted, and it reduces the evaporation because there is no problem of water logging, so it reduces the evaporation. Next modern means of irrigation is sprinkler irrigation. In this method, a pipe is fitted with a nozzle. At the top of the pipe, one nozzle is fitted. In that nozzle, so many holes are there, and through those holes, water comes out, and that water is utilized for irrigation. So in this process, the water directly falls on the crops, on the leaves of the crops and on the branches of the crops, and from there it goes directly to the roots of the crops. So we can say evenly the agricultural land is irrigated through this process. And since one nozzle is fitted at the end of the pipe, so this process of irrigation is also named as overhead irrigation method. Now we see the advantages of sprinkler irrigation. There is no percolation of water because right amount of water is sprinkled on the crops, so there is no problem of water logging, so there is no percolation. Similarly, there is no evaporation because there is no water logging, so no evaporation. These two are the advantages of sprinkler irrigation: no percolation of water and no evaporation of water. Now, disadvantages of sprinkler method: it is expensive because pipes, nozzles, these things are expensive, so this process is expensive, and it is helpful only for small land such as like a garden, vegetable land, and some other small cultivated land. This is useful for small cultivated land. And third disadvantage is it is used for crops which requires less amount of water. For the crops those requires more amount of water for irrigation, this method is not suitable for those type of crops. In this way, the chapter water resources is completed. The questions of exercise are given to write at home. Write the answers in your homework copies and submit the homework copies for correction. Thank you to all.